everybody, Kristen here. As you know, I believe homemade is best, but it doesn't need to be complicated. And today's recipe has saved me time and time again. I'm gonna show you how to make perfectly fluffy rice using your Instant Pot. You guys can make this using long grain white rice or long grain brown rice. Today I'm using brown rice. The only thing that changes is the cooking time. Now to prepare our rice, we want to rinse it really well so it won't clump together. To do this, you can place it in a fine mesh strainer and run it under cold water for about 2 minutes or until the water runs clear. A better way to do this is to place your rice into a large bowl, cover with water, and then kind of mix it together with your hands just to kind of loosen up that starch. Drain off the water, fill again. Repeat the process 2 to 3 times until the water is relatively clear. Then transfer your rice to a fine mesh strainer and rinse under water briefly just to get off any excess starch. I have 2 cups of rinsed brown rice here. Now for our liquid, we use a 1-to-1 ratio, which means for every cup of rice, we use 1 cup of liquid. I have 2 cups of rice, so that means I need 2 cups of liquid, and today I'm using 2 cups of vegetable broth. You could use water, you could use chicken stock, you could even use a combination of pineapple juice and water, which is delicious for like Tex-Mex meals. And then you just want to use a spoon and make sure your rice is submerged into the liquid there. To season this up, you don't have to do anything. You can wait until the rice has cooked to season, or you can season now. I am going to go ahead and add in 1 teaspoon each of onion powder, kosher salt, black pepper, and garlic powder. Again, that's optional. You can also opt to add in a drizzle of olive oil or a dollop of butter if you like, or you can just leave it plain like I am today. Then you want to pop your lid on your Instant Pot. Make sure your knob is pointed towards sealed or your lid is locked. And then to set the cooking time, that's going to depend on the type of rice you're cooking. For long grain white rice, you're going to cook for 3 minutes on high pressure. For long grain brown rice, you're going to cook for 22 minutes on high pressure. I know what you're thinking. Kristen, why don't we just push the rice button? Well, the rice button doesn't know if you're cooking white rice or brown rice, and on some models, it even defaults to low pressure instead of high pressure. So you want to be in control, and therefore I suggest you press manual or pressure cook and use the plus or minus buttons to adjust to the correct time. Today we're cooking brown rice, so we're going to hit pressure cook or manual and then use the plus or minus buttons and adjust until it reads 22 minutes. Once the cooking time has elapsed, let pressure release naturally on its own. So do a full natural pressure release. That'll help ensure that your rice stays nice and fluffy and doesn't get mushy. This can take anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes depending on how much rice you've cooked. Then open up your Instant Pot. For perfect rice, don't be tempted to stir the rice. Instead, use a fork and then fluff it. Just give it a good fluff. This will keep the grains intact and again keeps it from getting mushy. All right, I'm gonna give it a taste. It's chewy, it's nutty, it's just what rice is supposed to be, and we didn't have to put hardly any effort into making this, and we certainly didn't have to babysit it on the stove. You guys, this is a staple recipe in my house. It needs to be a staple recipe in your house. And for another easy recipe that makes life easy using the Instant Pot, be sure to catch out my next recipe where I share with you how to make Instant Pot dried beans. Until next time, happy cooking.